All right, I'm joined now by a local San Diego real estate expert ranking the top 2% of all agents countywide. He's also a published author of the First Time Homebuyer book. I'd like to welcome realtor, author, and entrepreneur Michael Wolf to Primetime. Thank you for coming to Primetime.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm so impressed that you are an author as well.
Yes, I am.
Tell us why you wrote that book.
I wrote the book because when I started real estate, I was a young 22, 23-year-old, and the type of clients who I was working with were all first-time homebuyers, had a commonality in that age type of status in our life. So I found that working with a lot of first-time homebuyers, I gained a really good skill set with that, so I decided to write a book about it.
Very cool. Yeah. And what I wish that book was around when I was a first-time homebuyer, because it's very confusing for a lot of people. It's very intimidating. So it kind of just clarifies everything that you're going to be dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, the market's turned around so quickly in such a short period of time. Why is that?
Well, I think there's a couple reasons why. One is the listings out there. There's way more buyers out there than there are homes to sell. And so buyers are clamoring, competing, and bidding up properties, and as a result of that, prices are going up. Second is interest rates have been really low for a very long time, historically low, and that's caused as another incentivizer to get people off their butts and buy a house.
Money's cheap.
That is right.
Why not use the money? It's never going to be this cheap again. That's what I feel.
That's absolutely true. And then number three would be just the media. 2-3 years ago, everything about real estate was bad, or everything was like blood on the streets and people were freaking out. And it's quite the opposite now. Everything's about how great things are and how much prices are appreciating, and it's really changing the populace's perception in terms of what real estate's doing.
Well, you know, we've seen in the last week or so, a couple weeks, that interest rates are slowly crawling back up. How should we react to that?
Well, let's keep things in perspective. They're really low still, and we're still 33% lower than they were in the peak years of 2005 and 2006.
So it's not a bad thing; it's a good thing.
It's for the most part, it is pretty good. I mean, for historically speaking, they're really low still. So there's still opportunities out there, but that also works for sellers as well. I mean, it's going to get some buyers off the fence. It's going to spur some buyers to get into the market. But it's also interesting to note there's never been a higher amount of all cash buyers out there. 40% of the transactions, I believe, throughout the nation are all cash. So there's many buyers out there that aren't even going to be affected by the interest rates, whatever they do.
And then we got to compete with those people. Talk about the 30-year and 10-year interest rates side by side.
Well, 30 years, if you look at that graph, it looks like it's gone from a very high amount. Now, I'm told that they were 18% at some point in time, but I don't think I was born
think my
then.
Single mother bought a house during that time. I remember her crying about it.
And
I don't, that doesn't leave my memory, so I'm always afraid that's going to get to that point.
People
right now, it's so good, folks, right?
People get mad at me, but I wasn't born when that was happening yet. Yeah, okay. All right. And then I hear that real estate offices were having parties when they hit 10%, and I was giving the first clients that I was helping with in 2005 high fives when they were getting 6%. So now you can get an interest rate in the low 4s, mid 4s right now if you have decent income and credit, and that's also huge because the market's improving, but the people are out there to buy, and they're buying in droves.
Right.
But these buyers are all qualifying. Like, they have to qualify. They have to have income, assets, and the credit to qualify. What a concept! And that's way different than it was back in 2005.
Yeah, because they were doing like stated income and giving anybody a house.
They called it a ninja loan because it stands for no income, no job, no assets. How much money do you need? Put it on this notepad and write it out, and we'll give it to you.
And then we wonder why we had these foreclosures, but now there are new laws in place to protect the banks, the buyers, the sellers, because you don't want to get in over your head anyhow.
And all the buyers are qualified, so it's great,
And so, speaking of that, if you're a potential seller, what kind of things should you be thinking about when you're thinking about selling your home?
Well, most sellers today, I think, would be surprised to know how much their property is actually worth. It's gone up 20 or 30% in the past year alone, right? What I would do if I was a seller, I would get in touch with me or my wife and my team, Wolf Real Estate Group. We would get together and we would talk about how much value is actually in their home. There are some websites out there that report a home's value, and they're rarely, if ever, accurate. Nothing beats the analysis of a professional real estate agent telling you how much your place is worth. Then we'd get together, establish a 26-point plan about to soup up your home to make it look the best it can, and then get to work at selling it.
Is that staging it as well?
That's one of the points, yeah.
And making it, giving it a greater curb appeal?
Absolutely. Somebody once told me a bucket of paint is $10, but on a wall, it's an extra $1,000 in your pocket.
Probably more than that.
Probably, but it's all these little things that you can do that I'm trained, I'm here, and I work every day to do and know and help our clients in doing
And I will say, when you're living in a house, for me, I've been in my house over 10 years, and I've kind of lived with stuff that at once was an eyesore, and I thought, well, I'm going to change that, and I never did. But changing that before you actually sell it and having an expert like yourself to come in point that out is a big deal.
That's what we're here for.
Is there any other things that we need to consider as future, sellers? Because I honestly, I just got my house appraised, and I was shocked how much equity I gained back out from my home.
Absolutely.
I had no idea. It was like almost overnight.
And we're approaching the values that we saw in 2005 and 2006. And I firmly believe that this market cycle, we're going to be exceeding those values. And that's a lot of buyers feel that in this market cycle, they like those odds. And so they're getting into the market and they're putting offers in, and that's helping to drive the prices up.
Yeah.
But that a seller can use that motivation or that mentality to their advantage at the negotiation table.
You seem so passionate about your job. Can I ask you, why did you get into real estate? I got to hear it, because you're so passionate.
Well, I got into real estate. I was getting a master's degree in architecture, and my teacher told me how much I was going to be making as soon as I graduated and got a job, and it really took the wind out of my sails. So another teacher I had his background in real estate, and I said, that sounds great, let's go for it. And I just really put 100% into it, put a commitment into my business, and I've been working it ever since, every day. And now I work with my wife, and we are a great team. We love what we do. And there's only nothing but a great future ahead for us.
Well, it is very cool. I mean, it obviously shows that you're so passionate, and if you love what you do, you're usually really good at what you do. Obviously, if you're in the top 2%. Is there anything else that makes you different from other agents?
Well, I'd like to think that what sets us apart is that we work by referral and we work by relationship. Many agents out there don't do that. They work transactionally. What that means is they're always looking for the next deal, whereas if we were working together, I'd be making sure that you are happy, that we're serving your best interest, because if I can't rely on my current clients to help provide our future business through referrals, then our business dies. So our business lives or dies with our current clients, and that's why we take all the time in a day and we put that into our client's situation, as opposed to spending a lot of time during the day doing things that are low-level activities like knocking on doors, or that's why you'll never see my wife or I on a bus stop bench or anything like that. We're spending that time, that quality time, working on your situation, whether it's selling a house or looking for a home. That's going all into you, because that's what makes sense, and it really is important to have that level of profession and service in today's market.
The word of mouth is everything. Wow, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. Thank you for coming on Prime Time. Let's pull up your information. Let's pull up your website here, and there it is, Wolf Real Estate Group.
MikeandJessica.net.
You can go to their website at www.mikeandjessica.net. So cute. I love it. You're
Thank
so
you very
good.
much, Taylor.
I'd love to meet your wife sometime too.
She should come on. Why not?
Well, let's bring her on.